In this video, you're gonna see me sit down with a brilliant content strategist to come up with a content strategy that's gonna take us from $0 a month to $5K a month in passive income. Now, I'll warn you, I kind of messed up the recording a little bit where you can't really see Mike, the content strategist, and the screen sharing is a little bit off, but the content is super valuable and we end up coming up with some great stuff. We're even on camera talking about how I may have messed up the recording early on and me saying that, no, it's all good, but it wasn't. Okay, now I have everything recording, so I think we should be good. It would be a bummer if I had some like awesome content here and then went to edit and then lost it all.
It's just like a black screen or something.
Yeah. That's okay. We still have some awesome content coming up right here to create a $5,000 a month passive income content strategy. There he is. That's so cool to see you.
Yeah, it's really good to see you. I can't believe it's been like months. And this is like the first time we're doing this.
I know.
It seems kind of mad.
We started with a blank document with just an idea, and by the end of it, we have a document filled up that's going to be able to help us create the best content for this topic on the internet. If you're down to do this, just maybe like brainstorm a little bit on like a good content strategy. I don't know if this is something that you would be down to do, or if I need to hire you for a content strategy or not. I figured while we're on a call, I'm like, well, you bring some great ideas to the table over time too, so maybe we can just like put our heads together in the beginning and just figure out a great way to do this. And like usual, as time goes on, we'll probably figure out like what's working, what's not, and come up with different ideas. But ultimately, the goal is to target the people who are searching for templates for different industries. I'm thinking we'll start specific in the beginning, so like Squarespace wedding templates, and then over time potentially just do like wedding templates in general and then plug different platforms in there. But for right now, I'm thinking Squarespace combined with an industry, and probably starting with like lower volume ones just to like see if it's working, and then build up from there and hit the bigger categories. Like photography is probably going to be one of the biggest ones. Maybe blogging's up there too, but I'll provide obviously all the keywords, and then but for now, so we're gonna come up with each H2 will pretty much, or whatever H3 will be the template. So we'll have a list of templates.
Is this going on a new website?
It'll be on the same website, but like a new section. Okay. So I'm gonna create a new template for this type of content.
Okay.
So it can be, I'm starting with like a blank slate, and first I'm gonna come up with all the information. What do we want to include in there? How do we like create for each template the same types of fields? And then I'll create like a full template for the blog that will pull all that information in and display it nicely.
This is nice.
So yeah, one of the things I was thinking, and maybe we need to do this with like the older blogs too, is the current aspect ratio of the images is wide, but when people are viewing a template, I think I want to make it tall. That way they can get like a full picture of what the template looks like, not just, like above the fold. And because it's tall, I'm thinking that we use like the right side of the screen or whatever for content. So like the left side can be like a really big screenshot of the image, and then the right side would be info about the template, or like whatever we want to talk about the template.
That's sick. I love that.
Yeah.
Maybe I think tying that in with what we've done with like the recent stuff, you can have it on one, like make the content on the left or the right or wherever side it's on. I'm guessing it'd be like staggered, so you'd have like one image on one side and then the next one on the other, and it like bounces possibly. But then having it like really digestible. So kind of what we've been doing with like takeaway and the pros and cons, but making it really just like punchy.
Absolutely. So this is, let's see. I like the idea of staggering them. For here, I'm just gonna like make one on the left or whatever and put like screenshot of template. We'll say tall screenshot of template. And then here, I'll just put like info about the template, but I don't want to trap us into like info. There's probably different things that we can put there. So as far as info about the template, just trying to put myself in like the people's shoes and the people's minds of why they're looking for the templates for their industry. I mean, one thing that people always want is like the design. Another is like,
key.
yeah, the content, which when we're making these, I'm thinking that there's not going to be, I don't know the number yet, but 7's usually a really good number. I know we're doing 15 for the other articles, but that's because I think 15 works better. There's more examples. But because like coming up with 15 templates for, you know, wedding websites might be excessive. I read once that 7's like odd numbers are better. I think we've talked about that before. I read once that I believe it was 7's like the best if
Yeah,
your content.
it is. I don't remember the stat.
Yeah. So I think that's like pretty digestible too.
Yeah, 7 seems like the best. I can't remember what the stat is now. It's like ridiculous. Like so much higher. Like 7 works so much higher.
Perfect.
Design, content. I think price is a big one. I think people want transparency. They want to know like what. Do you know what I mean? If it's like hundreds of pounds for a template, they want to know that straight away. If like it's not their budget.
Yeah. So that brings up a good point. I think in the beginning, I'm gonna feature all Squarespace templates, which are gonna be free, but we should still say free in there because people aren't gonna know that. But I do want to entertain the idea of putting third-party templates in there, and then so you know somebody else created a template and they're selling it. But the downside to that is I probably wouldn't get the credit for signing up for Squarespace because I'm guessing when they go buy the template, they're going to be going through their system.
Yeah.
It's kind of a toss-up. We'll see. But yeah, price definitely should be in there.
Maybe just having one premium or something in there.
Yeah, just test it out and see how that works. So as far as content goes, this one's going to be interesting because I think a lot of people are going to be like, I want to find a Squarespace photography template because it's like perfectly catered to them. And photography is probably not the best one, but there's often times where there will be like a business where there's not an exact match template for it, but the structure of the template is really ideal. So it has like, you know, this header, it has like somewhere where you can put services, even if the template doesn't make them services. The structure of it is good. So I think we can do like content / structures or maybe 2 different ones. So like if the content is on point, we can talk about like, this is awesome that they have a portfolio page, you know, if it's for photography. Yeah. But if the content's not exactly matching the industry, that's maybe where we talk about the structure. Because for our other articles, I would pick templates that just like had really good structure, but they just need to swap out the content to make it, you know, match their industry.
That sounds right. I think having in the content or structure, to be fair, probably content, having what do they call it? Almost like demo content. So people can quickly just switch it to what their content is. I think that's safe. Like you can change it in the future, but I know when I've built websites in the past, I haven't wanted just like spaces. Like I like seeing like the demo content in there, if that makes sense.
Would we be providing content that we would suggest go into the template?
Oh no, as in like the template comes with demo content or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so in here we could like make note if the content like matches the industry / is demo content, or if they need to like swap it out.
Yeah, because I've seen some templates that you need to basically go on like Canva and swap out like the images and like change the text on Canva, and they give you templates, and some of them is just like blank space.
Yeah.
And some of it you can just do in Squarespace. So it's like, it's more effort. It's a toss up between it being more effort and looking better and like just getting it out there.
Right.
Maybe like ease of use or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially with Squarespace, because it doesn't work like WordPress in the same way that they have themes that you like install and you install the content and then you just change it. Obviously, it's a bit more like technical, but it's not, but it kind of is if you're not used to it.
Yeah, so a lot of the WordPress themes, if you buy them, they have copyrighted materials in there. So if like I were to go create a theme and add like images in there, I can't really resell the images in the theme because they're only licensed for like a one-time use. And so that's why you run into a lot of those themes where it's just like, it looks beautiful in the demo, and then when you go and download it, it's just all like, you know, placeholder, like literal like 1000 by 500, you know, image. And it says that on there, and then all the content's lorem ipsum. So yeah, people, that's good because like I know what I know, but I didn't think that people like wouldn't know that. So it's good to like mention that what you see here, you literally like click try theme or start with theme, and then you're getting that entire, like everything you see on your own website.
Yeah, that's spot on.
I was thinking that it doesn't have to be all of these, but maybe just in the body we can mention content or structure. For some of them, like price, I'll put that into a field when I'm creating the blog, so it shows up in like a design spot. So you don't need to like write about that. It's just like entering that number in the blog template, and then it'll display nicely. That'll probably be like the main call to action. There'll be like a floating button in the top right or something where they can click it, go to Squarespace, and then that will register as the affiliate link. So that's really important. We need them to click to Squarespace to, you know, generate the fact that they came from us.
Yeah, and that's the button that will do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
When we're writing about these, it'll probably make sense to mention, look, this is just a starting point. You can completely customize it, and you're not locked into anything that like this template provides. You can totally switch it up and, you know, go to something else.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you want to upgrade your site in like a couple of months, like you want to use this as like a jumping off point or whatever, or you don't want to change it, then you're not locked in.
Yeah,
no loss, because you can just go, okay, just change it, it's done.
Yeah, exactly. And if you see something in another template that you like, you can totally implement that in your own template. It's not like that's something you can only get if you go with that template. Sure, you might have to design it out a little bit, but the widgets or the building blocks are all going to be available in all templates.
Yeah.
Oh, what about like a list of pages?
Ooh, like available pages.
Yeah, so it comes with contact, you know, about, homepage, a blog or whatever.
I think of like pages. No, that sounds really good. How big are these screenshots going to be? Because I don't want it to be like too convoluted with like content. I think having the text section needs to be really like bite size.
Yeah, I think a lot of this can be like, the way I'm envisioning it is primarily bullet points and like lists, and then maybe like a sentence or two to like lead off some of the sections, or just like the entire section altogether, like 3 sentences that describe the template, why we picked it, and then like here are like the different features or whatever.
Yeah, like boom, boom, boom.
Maybe we talk about like features in a way, or I guess that's kind of the structure. So we could talk about like, it's got like a testimonial section, or you know, something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be nice. I kind of want to look at some Squarespace templates now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to resist.
Now, I think what we've come up with is really solid, but I intentionally held off on looking at the competition until now. I like to make sure that my ideas are original to begin with, and that maybe there's something that's so far off what the competition is doing that I don't want to like put blinders on by looking at the competition first. So now that I have this document filled out with what we think will be the best content strategy, let's look at what the competitors are doing and see if we can pick up anything from them. By looking at the competition, we actually did see some stuff that we could be doing a lot better, and it's making me second guess part of my strategy. Let's dive into it.
Small intro. I really do like small intros. I think that's something I might want to go back and change on some of the other articles, because like they're here for this, and so it's great to be able to like, and they bold it too. I think this, I have like a feeling that this affects SEO. I don't have any stats to like back it up, but when you bold like the thing that they're here for, like the main keyword, I feel like it helps. So they're doing that. That's something that like I do too. I go in and I'll like bold stuff that's the keywords that I want to go for.
Yeah, I need to do it. Like you said, I haven't seen any stats on it. It makes sense because in the HTML it will like tag it as bold. So it's like, I think it makes sense, but I haven't seen any stats on it. I've looked, but
even for just them like just scrolling through, it's nice for them to be able to be like, okay, best Squarespace templates for photography. Like I'm in the right place. So they have
get template. Yeah, they've got both buttons.
Yeah, I would just do this one, because they're actually not affiliate marketing. I can see in the link in the bottom left, that's just like the default link. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't, if they want to go to like the full preview, they can do that from like the Get template. They do have the price section. That's something that I'll have like separate, so we won't put that in the body content. It'll just be like maybe in here or something.
Even this though, this text that they've got written out here is too much for what it is. Like people, I feel like they're very visual, and they want to just see like, so like that June one that you've got, maybe having like the middle paragraph, like keeping the middle paragraph, and then just bullet point in the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like we don't read it. Like no one reads it.
Yeah, and At one point, I know you mentioned for the other content to potentially have more screenshots. I wonder if like it would make sense to add them to the body at all. So we have like the one main like homepage on the left or right, and then in the body potentially just like have some other screenshots. I don't know if that'd be too much, if it would make it work or not, but you're right. Like, yeah, people are just like, yeah, show me the template, and they're probably gonna click here and get out of there. But you do need some content to like rank and still provide value.
Yeah, that's just it. And I think like I think I was thinking about images in the body. I think having especially if it's floating like next to it, then you'd have two images side by side. So even if it's just like, I don't know. I mean, we can experiment with it and see what works. I think Punchy's better because, like you said, you have to have content to rank. But yeah, like this, is it good for photographers? Like, I'm not reading any of it. Like, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm just like glazing over.
You know, one of the strategies I've seen with headers is to make them valuable without reading what's below them. So like instead of saying is Squarespace good for photographers, we can say like Squarespace, like you can have an awesome site for photographers with Squarespace or something like that, because then they're getting all of this in one line, and if they want to have more information that supports this header, then they can go ahead and read it. They're doing, and they're not even affiliate marketing for Squarespace, they're affiliate marketing for third-party templates.
Yeah, I think this is the same. I think this is the one that I've looked at.
I like the 3. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it is nice. It gives you so much more insight.
Yeah, because the homepage is just one part of the puzzle. This is like, I do like what they're doing, and they have like a cool background to these. That takes a little bit of design because they're taking a template and they're making a color that like complements the template, or that like sits nicely behind it.
Is it like that for all of them? Like if you scroll down, they do it differently. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's true.
Well, actually, they're using the same color for the background, so that's easier. Okay, so they're not, I thought they were like putting these in like some Photoshop or whatever, adding a color to the background, but let's see.
They do kind of work though.
Oh, actually they are. So they're creating these images. This is the full image. I was thinking they had like the image on a background, like not a part of the same image. Which I can easily do, so I can have the image go here and then like add a background if I want to add some, because a lot of these like they might be white and then they blend too much into your own background, and so it makes sense to either put like a border around them or a whole background.
Yeah, it works really nicely in here.
Yeah, so I'm kind of rethinking. I wonder if it's better to do like the 3 across or however many across that like, yeah, like home, contact, and probably like an internal page or maybe a couple internal pages. So this is a trade-off because I really do like the 3 across. This looks super nice, but then the content's not going to be like, I guess images are what matters though. I mean, people, like you were saying, like design's what people want.
I think it could be a bit over the top, but it could be amazing.
Hey, we need to create the best content out there. That's the goal of all of this. The best content's going to rank the best, the people are going to click it, and that's going to keep it going. And that's going to help us get to 5K a month.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. For people like watching, this is the thing, especially with like the rise of AI and stuff. I was working with someone recently and they were like, oh, like I can just generate, tons of articles with ChatGPT and put them up. And it's like, yeah, but it's not the best. Like nowadays, you need to be aiming for the best post on that topic. Like out of everyone, even if you're like going against, you're like in competition with like Forbes and Squarespace and like their own pages, like you have to put your spin on it in a way that stands out and makes people go to your website and say, oh, okay, this is the website for me.
100%.
Like this is where I'm getting my content. Like that is literally the definition of being authoritative. And so it's not about, it is about quantity, but that comes with time. Like it builds up with time. Like this Applet Studio, like it's clearly got an aesthetic. It's clearly got, its style. Like we're obviously examining it now, but like even in terms of like the color scheme and the font, it's playing to its audience. And you can tell the sort of person that's going to be attracted to this kind of website and will come back here every single time.
Yeah. And even at that, like I'm looking at stuff and like this content's too wide. I don't like content that's too wide because then it's like hard to read. I like it like, so there's even ways I'm looking at this and seeing how we can improve it. But yeah, no, you freaking crushed it. Like that's exactly it. And anything that we can do that provides just like a little bit more value, if it's just bolding some stuff, like whatever, then I'm about it. And sometimes like it's not just content, like it's how do you, like you were saying, like the interaction stuff. Like if you can have some like cool content that's like you interact with or that moves around, people are gonna stay there longer and like they're gonna love it.
Oh, 100%. And it will take them by surprise as well. Like, if they're scrolling down and they're like, oh, this is good, and then it moves, and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, and they read the content, and it's really good content, and it tells them everything they need, and they're like, okay, this is like, I'm in, and they're engaged. The more time they spend on it, the more they're invested in it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and they'll like trust you more.
Every second.
But that's like a really great start. Like, and after looking at the top 4 or 5 results, I'm pretty confident that we can create content that's better than them. We'll see how long it takes for Google to pick it up. Photography is one of the more competitive ones, so I think it'll take a while, but it can be done.
All right, what do you think? Do we have a plan that's going to make $5K a month in passive income? Did we miss anything? If you think there's something that we missed that can really add value, drop a comment below. In the next video, I'm going to be modeling the data in the CMS and then creating the template to put all of this content strategy into like a blog or a post. Now, it's going to need to be really cool to be engaging and just be the absolute best template that is online for this category of content. We'll see you on April 30th, 2023. Peace.